Hi, I want to give you a demo of a new programming environment that I'm working on. Specifically, it addresses the issue of the strong division between UI and textual code that we have, which I think has many tragic downsides. And to name a few, I think it makes us worse UI designers, us developers, that is. And it also makes us believe in a false dichotomy that you can only have composability and performance and professional tooling on the one side, that is on the textual side, and that UIs are something inferior. And yeah, I think that's an unfortunate mistake of history that I'm interested in undoing. So let's start. First, we'll see that we can declare variables in this environment, which might be useful. And as you can see, these variables have initial values, which are represented in a not typical textual way, though I'm sure some of you will know how to print such characters with a keyboard. But let's just consider them UI components that represent a certain state of these variables. And the squiggliness we'll get to in a second. As you can maybe already sense, we're gonna develop one of the rarest kind of applications, a to-do app. And what we need to develop a UI, and any UI developer can tell you that, is a bunch of boxes that we nest in each other. That's just what you do in UI development. Some people also like to call them rectangles. I went with box instead. And now we want to bind an input, which is specifically a box, which can capture your cursor and into which you can write different values. And we want to bind that input to the new to-do text variable. What binding means in that context, if you're not a UI developer, it means that whenever the new to-do text variable changes, the input changes, and whenever the input changes, the new to-do text variable changes. So they are kind of interlocked. And we can see that in action here if we press the play button. And what you can also see above now is that next to this squiggly equality sign, there's also a normal equality sign showing the current runtime value of that variable. So this is not part of the source. This is something that just right now exists during the runtime. So the squiggly equality indicates the initial value, whereas the straight equality sign is the current value. Now, developing UI also means designing UI, and for that we don't have to have a separate inspector to view what things look like. Instead, we can do all of that inline. And I personally like my inputs with a bit of border and some padding. So we're going to apply that. And next we also want to add the new to-do to our list of to-dos. And for that we need a button. And a button is just a box with a press handler. So we're adding that. And this is pretty typical UI code, which just pushes the new to-do text into the list of to-dos. Pushing meaning put it at the end of it. And if we press play again, we can see that it indeed works, and we can again see the runtime values being represented behind the straight equality sign again. Now, to do a little bit of a UI touch-up, I think buttons should have more of a border than inputs even, and also a little bit of padding. And in general, I think that UI looks better when the button is next to the input with a little bit of a gap in between. And as you can see, we can do that all quickly within one view. We don't have to switch to a different inspector view or something. We don't have to context switch. This all happens within one environment. And this is really just the start of my vision for this, because I think this could be great just for what I basically just said, no context switching while developing UIs. I think this will or like a system like this will make you much faster and will make it much easier to develop UIs, but I also think there's more we can do when we bring UIs into code, and that is something that I'm gonna explore in the next phases. So yeah, follow me if you wanna be part of that journey, and thanks for watching.